So Feeksy, yes or no? Will you be buying the new or the released Wood outside High Elves? I was going to say Wood Elves, but why?
Will I be doing this? By the way, I've just hit recording. This isn't a test or anything like that. We're just
That's
live
right.
now. Will I be buying the new High Elves when they come out? I think eventually. But I do think I may be getting a third-party one rather than the GW one. The sculpts look good. The Brute Font ones are very nice. There's very, very nice ones from Brute Font, so I'd be tempted to go for them. However, I am on a bit of a human type kick at the moment, so I've got humans, nobilities, Norse, quite a few of those teams ready and waiting. So I don't know whether I'll be off elves for a little bit. What about you?
Yes, I will be. I know people are saying, "Oh, they look like postmen," or "We don't like the way they look." I thought that was quite funny, actually, and good old Ben of either the pre-release order video thing awareness yesterday, which I looked at, made me laugh. And as he said, yeah, there's definitely the things. And again, kudos to Ben. I'm not going to take any credit for this. If you want to go see Ben, go to the Bonehead podcast. But he did describe them as you'll probably, it's like you got death taxes and GW leaks, so you'll probably get the all the rules before they come out as well. It will be really interesting what happens. The one I'm looking forward to seeing is what skills will they put on that on the will they put dodge on anything? So will they go, because what I'd love, which would be filth, I don't think they're going to do it, but they've got that wrestle piece, which is going to be the White Lion, because they've actually said they're sort of two Blitzer type pieces. They actually called it out in the description. So they've got Blitzer, and then the Dragon Prince can be a Blitzer as well. And I would love it if you had the wrestle dodge. If you had a wrestle dodge piece, how filthy would that be? Because all you want to do, if you want to then stick on break tackle, can you imagine, and strip ball? Can you imagine going into a cage with that? It's like, thank you very much indeed.
Filth.
There'll be absolute filth, absolute filth. I am really looking forward to seeing them. I think you've summed it up right. There will always be a subtle, unplanned leak of information that comes out probably at the end of this week, is my guess. We're gonna subtly hear something. I am quite looking forward to them. My gut feeling is they're not going to be as powerful as people say they are, but new team, I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it.
Cool. Tom, I'm assuming you're going to add to the box collection. You must have spare room now.
Like you've already got one.
No, I'm not getting. I haven't even put anything in the pre-order, not even the dice. So.
Have you got any boxed elf teams? You've got pro elves, haven't you?
He's been replaced by a bot.
I've got Elven Union.
You haven't got wood elves.
No, I haven't got wood elves. No. So I don't. The problem is I go on the kind of look, and a bit like what Tom said, I don't really like the look of the players. Equally, the two newest teams, Tomb Kings and Bretonnians, I've now played against them and also seen other people who've been playing them. They're not as magical as they were made out to be, and I have a suspicion that the High Elves might be in a similar vein. I think certain teams, old teams, especially like Nurgle and OWA, have been so kind of souped up that I think they make the new teams look a bit average, to be honest. It's a bit like when Amazons came out, and I know a lot of people rave about how well Amazons are. I've never really seen the appeal, to be honest. I've never seen them be as amazing as people say they are, but maybe that's just me.
Well, on that controversial bombshell, Mr. Feeks, it's over to you.
Let's play the intro. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Tom. Joining us, as always, is Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, what is your favourite group activity?
Good evening, Tom. My favourite group activity is drinking beer.
Well done.
I'm
for
not
being
going to be a
restrained.
kiss ass and say Blood Bowl.
Oh,
Let's
damn
face
it.
it, none of us are. Joining us also tonight is Mr. Tom Hovell. Tom, same question. What is your favourite group activity?
Probably going on a road trip to Kent.
Oh, very topical. I like it. I like it. Bit more kiss assy. Well done.
What's your favourite group activity, Tom?
I'm going to go with kind of a mixture of all of this, drinking and a games night with a group of friends. Just
I thought you were going to
random
sort of
games.
say. I thought you were going to say some sort of Colombian powder fueled orgy. I
Oh,
don't know. Maybe.
I thought
No.
he was talking about his eyes wide shut recreation weekends.
No, that was a close second and third.
That's every other weekend in Nottingham. That is, Tom.
It is. It is. Well, we are not here to talk about Colombian orgies. No, we are here to talk about Blood Bowl. And this week we are doing the long-awaited KTC review. As most people know, a few weeks ago we were at the Kent Team Championship, and we're going to go through all of our matches there. We're doing a quick review of each one and summary. It's a great tournament. We'll come back to that at the end, but we had a lot of fun being there. What was interesting is a while ago we had Thulian come on and saying that Team Blood Bowl is the best type of Blood Bowl. I kind of see where he's coming from now. For me, it was my first team tournament, and yeah, I kind of get it now. We won and lost together, and that was the camaraderie. There was a big pull.
Absolutely. Completely agree on that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a bit like you. It was my first team event. So, where do you want to start on this?
Well, should we start at the beginning and round one? Obviously, we are down Chris, so we're going to have to catch up and assume who wants to do the best impression of Chris, and we can go through all of his matches.
You know, you've known him the longest, Tom. Off you go.
Okay, I'll do my best Chris impression.
That was beautiful management delegation. That was it. Tom, look at that straight back.
Yeah.
Straight back. Get back. No,
Back, you know.
you volunteer. You pick that one up.
Absolutely. So round one, we were drawn against 4 skulls in a row, who I think did very, very well last year at Kent Team Championship.
Came second, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And one of them, I believe, was my opponent, was actually the top single coach. So the top single performer there. So we looked at that, and on paper we thought, oh, okay, this is how it's going to be this weekend. But you know what? We came out all right. Tom,
that was Darren, wasn't it? You played in your opening match. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
Darren, if you're watching. Hello, Luke. Hello, Nick. Everybody else. Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go from the top of the list on my phone. Tom, you were playing Kendrell Shade. Do you want to give us a quick overview?
Yeah. So just a clarification, I took Necromantic Horror. With the new kind of rules and everything, I thought, well, I won't overdo the elite skills, which was stupid from the start, because everyone just ignored the elite skill modification and just brought block and guard and everything. So I had 1 guard flesh golem, 1 sprint werewolf, 1 strip ball werewolf, block ghoul runner, a guard wraith, and a mighty blow wraith. So my game ended 0-0. And it was a tough one because I was right up against Black Orcs with a troll and a number of Goblin Bruisers. Guard on the troll, 2 block Black Orcs, 2 guard Black Orcs, and 2 mighty blow Black Orcs, plus a strip ball Goblin. So it was horrendous. Luckily, he could not break armor. So I got away lightly on that one. So first game, out off the bat, as you say, against one of the highest scoring teams of previous years, I thought I got away lightly on that one.
Yeah, it was always a tough opposition. To be fair, I think you did well. You did well to pull out a draw, and it's one of the things that we definitely did realise over the weekend. Team competitions, having someone that's just going to pull out those draws, yeah, that's actually incredibly useful. Scott, over to you. You played Total Fuzzy Logic.
Yeah, played Luke, who's obviously part of the squad England. Found out later as well. Ridiculously nice chap. I'm going to put that out there as well. Really fun game. Expected to be in for a bit of a kick in, to be honest. And I'm not going to lie, I had a few beers on the Friday night in trepidation. We were all talking in the pub thinking, this is a rough ass draw for us. Luke had Corn, and he had a Chaos Chosen who had break tackle on him as well, who was filthy. So obviously going into a cage on a 4 up under the new rules as well with reroll. Scored early. I was the Woodies, and just so people know, I don't play tree with Woodies. I've been rooted to. That sounds really bad. I've had a player take
it doesn't
root.
sound bad. It's a fantastic pun. Just
Okay.
roll with it.
We like puns when Chris isn't here. But yeah, I've been rooted by a tree on too many other occasions as well. So I thought not this time, and it's worked for me in previous tournaments. So usual, I think Woody. I can't remember the exact setup. I think from memory it was 1 strip or 1 tackle war dancer, and I won't be repeating this for any other match. It was leader on the thrower, 1 block, and then 1 sidestep catcher, and I think there was another dodge on one of the linemen as well. So pretty standard stuff from the Woodies. Went 1-0 up, got 1-0 back, trying to battle a super cage, managed to break it with the strip ball wall dancer in the second half. That was quite fun. Got it to went to 2-1. Then I got was it the other way around? Anyway, went to 2-2. Went to 2-1. I had the chance of running round to try and sack the ball carrier, and I just had to do a dodge out with a catcher and put it in place to give me a 1 dice with a strip ball blitzer on the carrier, and he failed the dodge. So classic Elf 1 into a 1, ho hum, take the 2-2 draw. Thank you very much. Could have been 2-1, but it is a great way to start the table. And what was really nice, as you both said, first team tournament, really good. Big shout out to Dave, John, to Shane, and to who do we go with? Rodders. And we all went down in the car. We all crashed together. It was a shout out to those guys for making it a great weekend as well. And it was good just looking over to see what Tom was doing in the pouring rain and thinking, just keep it safe, Tom, keep it safe. You don't have to sprint that wolf everywhere. Keep it safe. And he did a great job. And I could see you were smiling on the other side of me, and so was Chris. So yeah, thinking there.
Yeah, it was a really good start. Chris then faced up against Malawi Child with his shambling undead. Now, the temptation here is for me to wax lyrically about how mighty Maeve did, whilst Chris goes on and on and on about his lizards.
Can I apologise? I've just realised it was Darren playing Chris. Darren was with his shambling undead. So yes, so you weren't playing Darren. Is it Nick, the other guy you're playing? Anyway, apologies for that. I'll try and get it right next time.
I'm going off my list, which has NAF names. So apologies to all of our opponents. My list just has your NAF names now. So I do apologise for being so rude and forgetting your real names. I will remember your face if we see you in person. Now, Chris was a little bit worried going into this, it was fair to say. But he did come out winning 4-2 on cash and 2-0 overall on touchdowns. I think it was a very, very solid performance by the Ducks. I believe he was having a bit of trouble at a couple of stages, but he managed to pull through it really well. He'd taken his standard 4 or 5 Blocksaurus, his standard Blocksaurus build. So the block Juggernautosaurus was doing him really, really well, and even up against the undead, he was still trying to find a way through. So that left me at the end of the table up against Ephemeric Ocelot, who also wins. I'm torn about this. It's a joint unofficial prize for the most fun game of the tournament, because there was one that did later on that did kind of match it as well. I'd taken Underworld. And in retrospect, yeah, I'd have taken a different team. They are struggling in this edition a little bit, but they were a lot of fun. He'd taken Orcs, and as you'd be surprised, a lot of Block and Guard and Mighty Blow. But I was managing to pick off a couple of them, but he was also whittling me down. Came to turn 8. He scored on his turn 8, left me with the 1 turn, and he rolls a solid defense. which was just, of course he did. Of course you do, because that's what happens when you set up. Still managed to work our way around it thanks to a load of snotling absolute bullshittery to get into the right places, and work out some stupid chain pushes, which looking back I'm like, oh nice, I did that. That was really, really good. And what did I do? Snake on the tripwire. I did everything, and I still can't one turn with that team. It's infuriating. However, we went into the second half. I withdrew on the offense slightly. I do apologize to my opponent. The amount I was moaning about the fact that I was doing a DACA, I do not like playing that tactic at all. It doesn't suit how I want to do things. But he defended it incredibly well and meant I did have to rush the score slightly in the end. But then, given I then kicked to him, he had half a chance of pulling it back to 2-1, but had to stretch it slightly, left me 1D on the ball. It was a filthy 1D pow. Dodge off with my break tackle blitzer into a 1D pow to then my beautiful thrower to dodge out, pick up on a 4, dodge out, double rush, 5 up past the gutter runner to score.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful filth. So that was our most successful match of the entire weekend. We were on
We
a
peaked too
high.
soon. Is that it? Yeah, we
Yeah.
peaked too soon.
We peaked so quickly. Oh, it was a beautiful one. It's a beautiful one. And in all seriousness, lovely team. If you ever get to face those guys, absolutely, you're going to be in for a great time. So thank you very much for the matches. On to round 2. We faced up against a team that's come over from Belgium, the Rabid Bog Scum. This was good fun. This was a great round.
This was a mad one because I didn't see who we were drawn. I'd been chatting to someone, which is again just another slight call out from the tournament. The interaction between all the coaches was absolutely wonderful. It was nice to jump, just when you're off your table, bump into other coaches and just have a chat. Met some, fantastic people there as well. I know we'll talk, we're not going to talk about all our games in detail, but the fact that you had the gang at Hearthforge games, you had Charlie Victor and you had Matt and his candle shop, who I did have the bag to give him a shout out somewhere, and I don't know. I think it's been usurped by someone in our house, but the candles were fabulous. So yeah, I have to dig out who they were. So yeah, so we got back to the table, and Chris said, "You're playing gnomes, and you better beat them." And I did. And the fact that it was the game made for a tackle war dancer was absolutely wonderful. And when I had the blitz as well, and I was playing Hjorn, and really nice young guy. And 4-0 Woody's, filth. So move on. Yeah, take it.
Absolute filth. I'll be honest, I just applaud his bravery for taking gnomes to that tournament. Good on you. Good on you. Tom, do you want to take it away with yours?
Yeah. Mine was a different kind of thing because I played Search with his Tomb Kings. He is a well-seasoned coach. Clearly, he's been playing for a long number of years. He had some original Tomb King miniatures, and he's been to many world championships and everything like that. So it was a difficult one, although I did cause 2 casualties on them, which was I was quite pleased with. I unfortunately had a 2-0 loss, but it was great to meet them and speak to all of them in there. It was interesting to hear that they come over to England because Belgium, being such a small country, they've played every game, so they know practically every player in Belgium. So they've come for a bit of variety, and there was a lot of humour around that. So it was really nice. And also just to give people a kind of idea a bit more about how the event was set up. So the event was actually at Kent Cricket Ground. So beautiful venue. And we were over 2 floors of one of their stands. So it was nicely set up. Speaking to some of the organisers, they did say, well, we could have pushed everyone into one floor, but we feel this is better to have 2 floors and have some areas for shops and for stalls and stuff, which I wholeheartedly agree with. It was really nice. I know a lot of people listening and probably have gone to events where you're kind of almost back to back against other tables and you can't hardly move. Here it was really nice. Lot of area to move around. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this match.
Yeah, completely agree. The venue itself is, I mean, overlooking the cricket ground is absolutely beautiful. Like you say, yeah, you got the 2 floors. There is space and there is air, which you don't often get in some other venues, particularly when they pack a lot of people in. So I completely agree. It's a lovely, lovely place to go. Scott, you look like you want to say something.
No, I'm going to save it for when we talk about day 2 and a Sunday. But that's fine.
So my second match was against Dragon
Can
Whelp.
we just shout out kudos to Stu as well, because they did put lunch on. So you had sandwiches, you had fruit, you had water on tap. People could go to the bar, have a couple of beers if you want to, which lots of people did. And Buzz designated driver, I had to save it for the evening. But yeah, it was just the venue and what Stu and Andy and the guys put on was wonderful. So thank you guys. And yeah.
It really, really was. It really was. No, could not agree more there. A wonderful, wonderful place to go. My second match up against Dragon Whelp with Nurgle. My first time playing Nurgle this edition, and my God, it is tough. It is really tough. Really, really tough. It's very good coach, very controlled, very measured, very knowledgeable, and another really nice guy. Just really nice guy. Got chatting afterwards. Just a really good player and really friendly. 1-1 draw, but a 4-1 loss on Kaj. He was doing incredibly well to limit me to only 1-die blocks, and that stand firm was being a right pain in the butt. I did have a Juggernaut Roger, which helped, but then also happened to bury himself into a field of players, which wasn't always ideal. It was a bit touch and go whether or not it was going to be a loss for me. In the end, I had to push the score a bit quicker, and then I failed a couple of crucial dodges, but just about managed to bullshit my way in. Big shout out, break tackle Skaven Blitzers. Or in this case, 2 heads. If you got the option to take either of them, yeah, that saved my ass this game. Really did. It was a beautiful thing.
Definitely. And I think for Chris, because Chris, the Ducks were facing the Lizard match as well. And if I remember what Chris was saying, if you look at the score 2-0 in touchdowns, unfortunately, Chris lost. But as soon as he lost that first skink, Dreesfield, his opponent, really sort of pressured him, and then it was a lot of 2s and 1s. Basically, he was a lot of like just pinned in. Dreesfield was really using that extra skink to his benefit, and that just sort of forced that match. So yeah, it was a tough draw for Chris. That one was.
Yes, it absolutely was. I can remember looking over him at one point, and I think he was down a Saurus and a skink earlier on. And in the mirror match, those early removals, yeah, it's huge. Absolutely huge. Then our final match of the day was up against ABBL. And this was a fun one again, upstairs in a lovely airy room. Scott, do you want to take it away?
Okay. Shall I start with Chris? Chris got absolutely. He had the rough end of a dicing, really.
Oh yes, he did. This was this one. Yes, you did.
This was this one. It was 2-0. It was 5 casualties to 1. And I think he actually got pitch cleared by half time, if I remember. He got several players back on, but by then the damage was done, and it was done. The match was finished in ridiculously quick speed. Kudos to Hector for playing that so well, though. It was really, really good. But yeah, I think that sort of stunned everybody across the tables, and it was like, okay, what's going on there then? I played Paul, who was playing his Chorf, Captain Conway. Obviously, he'd injured himself the year before, and we were reminiscing and having a great laugh about and talking about that. 2-1 to the Elves. I thought I was going to get an absolute kick in. I almost did, because I fell into a bit of a trap, because the ball was a bit loose towards the end where I kicked it deep. I lost the roll off. I went for it. I managed to survive despite getting lots of beatings and war dances down. Went 1-0 down. I believe I did score the 1-turn touchdown on this event, that one was beautiful. So that worked really, really sweet and really, really well. So I got that, and yeah, it was really nice because on the first, so that was the end of the first half. So 1-1, got the ball, managed to. I think that I did lost and then robbed. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, forced the 2-1 win, but against the run of play, doing what elves do so well, so many times, often as well. The highlight of that game, though, the one that's, and apologies, it's been a couple of weeks of craziness has happened since between then and now. But the one thing, I went for an early second half score, and Paul was playing a minor with tentacles, so he actually pinned my. He pinned my blodge catcher against the side, and I thought, oh, we're in for an absolute pickle in here, really, if we don't do anything. So I did a 2 dice uphill blitz against the Minotaur, and I rolled a double stumble. And I casualtied the Minotaur with an elf catcher, and it was filth. It was absolute unbelievable filth because I had to move the sidestep catcher in next to this other catcher to at least it wasn't 3 dice uphill, 2 dice uphill, got the double stumble, managed to get out of there, managed to get the ball back, keep it out of harm's distance, and gradually move my way up the pitch and just push off and hold off as many chorfs as possible. And then force Paul having to rush. He failed it in terms of rush blitz. And managed to get in and score. But it was just one of those absolutely filthy and what Edge teams can do so well. So yeah, that was quite nice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tom, what about yourself in that match?
Yeah, well, I didn't do as well as you. So I was playing against Chaos Chosen, and I know a lot of people are talking about Nurgle being one of these really nasty teams in this kind of season, but Chaos Chosen have always been like the boogeyman kind of thing, with Beastmen with their horns, and when in this particular scenario they had 2 lots of extra arms, tackle, 2 Chaos Chosen with block, and 2 Chaos Chosen with mighty blow, as well as an ogre with guard. That ogre was devastating. He was all over the place, just keeping my flesh golems in check and just not allowing me to kind of move at all. And then what happened was they were clearly just blitzing every time they got a chance on my werewolves and also on my ghouls. So unfortunately for me, it was it was only a 1-0 loss, but it was I lost 3 casualties to 2. So it was a hard fought game, and it was nice. It was nice because it was the last game of the day. I know I've been to other tournaments where they try and fit an extra one in to see if you can get away early the second day, but I was quite pleased that it was only 3 games.
Yeah, definitely. I think just for concentration's sake, more than 3 games in a day is just not going to work. Not going to work. My final one of the day was up against Ash 1986 and Vampires. This was a tricky match. I'll be honest. This was a really tricky match. I overall lost 2-1. I was 5-1 up on Kaj. I was doing the underworld thing of isolating and fouling and just eating thralls. I gang fouled a vampire runner about 4 turns in the row and could not get rid of the bloody thing. It was just somehow just unbreakable, which was a little bit infuriating. I did have the chance for the 2-turn, but then my thrower, sure hands, fake skill, etc., we've all been there where they just completely fail the pickup and it's just not going to work. So fair enough. I'd score early in the hope of turning him over. He had to use a few rerolls quite early on and was also down a few thralls, so I had the numbers advantage. And I was thinking, you know what, Vamp's going into this. I think it was on turn 13 or something like that. They've got no re-rolls. They've only got a couple of thralls left. I can do something here. And then I proceeded to fail turnover quite quickly, a couple of turns in the row, and he managed to slip through as vampires can do. So I took the risk. It didn't pay off in the end, and it was 2-1 loss. Would I have played it differently? No, probably not. Looking back at it, no reroll vamps and down a few players. I'm going to play that pressure with a quick team and try and go for it. But it didn't work out. So we ended the day with overall 1 win and 2 losses.
But on a positive, we found a fabulous curry house in the evening and a good bar as well. So if you're in, we don't usually endorse places, but if you're in Canterbury, go to North Lane and go to the Ancient Raj. Fabulous, great curry house, really, really good.
Really good.
Freshly made food, none of the MSG rubbish that you get in a lot of places these days. And I think we all had a very good time, us and the Carrot Crunch boys. Yeah. So going between the Airbnb to the Ancient Raj and then over to the Miller's Arms for several pints of lemonade, and myself and Mr. Feeks had a pint. No, not a pint. Sorry,
It was not. I mean, it felt like
a pint.
But
we had several glasses of scotch to finish off the evening and have a good time. Yes, it was all in all very good.
Very, very good.
And then myself and Mr. Hovell had the privilege of sharing the boudoir with the man, the myth, the legend from the Ibble area, Mr. John Reeder.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I believe you and Chris got cozy and comfortable as you usually do on these trips away.
Yes, yeah, we did. Chris and I were sharing a bed, as has not been the first time. For anyone who doesn't know, I've known Chris since we were about 11, and yes, we've shared a bed multiple times. He's very used to my snoring, and our partners are very used to getting a selfie of us curled up next to each other. So thank you very much, Chris. It was a nice night's sleep. It was wonderful.
Yeah, very nice. So refreshed, should we say, and fighting fit. We returned for the Sunday on day 2, and you mentioned about the ventilation in the arena. It definitely had a bit more of a pungent odor, especially the lavatories. The next day, we had like 100+ male coaches all descending after beer and curry.
It definitely had changed a little bit, hadn't it? Although, having said that, if that was in a stuffy place, that would have been 100 times worse.
Yeah, it was as well. And yeah, there were sound effects, and there's certain individuals who were absolutely not feeling the best that morning. But ho-hum, onwards we went. Do you want to take us through round 5, Mr. Hovell?
Yeah. Also on the
round 4.
I think Tom, you realised that you were clearly in the wrong loos.
Oh,
Did you go in the girls' toilets, Tom?
I definitely did, and I walked out and went, "Why was that so clean?" I was like, "Oh shit!" and just walked away very quickly, never to be spoken of again. I was so quiet and so clean. It was lovely.
It's like another world.
It really was.
But back to Blood Bowl.
Thanks for pointing that out, Tom. It's appreciated.
I'd help out. So my first game of the second day was against Halflings with Red Swan. Sorry. This was probably one of the most frustrating games I've ever played at a tournament. The Halflings don't die. They just dodge around like annoying little things. Picking up the ball was an absolute menace. The ball bounced everywhere to the point that on the second half, the tree man had it for most of the second half because you couldn't fell the blooming thing. It was so close. I was so close to scoring, but unfortunately, this one was a 0-0. Very well played, Red Swan, on that. You positioned your players very, very well. I couldn't get in. I couldn't move around. As I say, the tree had basically the advantage of holding the ball and equally causing me 3 casualties. So, again, it was a 0-0 draw. I caused 1 casualty. He caused 3.
I think that was pretty much a theme of all our matches for that sort of game 4. I know speaking to Chris afterwards, so he was playing Jim Chungus. I can't remember what Jim Chungus was playing actually that match. what was it? I'll have to download that anyway. In terms of what was he playing?
Dwarf.
He was playing dwarfs, wasn't he? Because Chris was thinking, "Oh, here we go with dwarfs." Even though they've lost tackle. 1-1 in casualties, but just 2-1 in terms of the dwarfs and in terms of their grind. And I think it was one that Chris, you can pause this as well in the edit, Feeksy, if you want to mark the timestamp as well, if you need to pause it and ask a question.
Oh, no, it's fine. That's the whole reason why I was messaging. You don't expect me to do that much editing. I was saying that Tom was saying you needed to leave at 9, and it's
I'm good
9.
now. I'm good. I can carry on. Yeah.
Sure,
Oh.
thank you.
Sorry. I haven't. What's a clock? What's a 9? I'm an elf. We only
You're
calculate.
making me you're expecting me to actually edit this now.
Yes, I am. So anyway, Chris is up against it. Moving on then, I was playing Paul and his Norse. I decided to go for it again, sort of score early, aggressive defense, and the elves did what they hadn't done on day one. They failed everything in terms of I failed several war dancers dodging out on a 2, went 1 into 1, several of them. I also tried, I think it was 3 leaps into cage, which 4 up with re-rolls. You think it's got to stick surely with a strip baller, and he failed. Well, 2 strip ball attempts failed, 1 tackle, 1 failed as well. So yeah, it was just expected really to do that. So I think the 2-1 score doesn't reflect the fact that he had 3 casualties, and I think had more off the pitch at some stages as well. Was a real challenge and a bit of an eye opener for that. That was, I think, my worst performance of the weekend actually.
Yeah, I think it was a tricky start for all of us up against the Bromley Buzzlords, which is a fantastic name. And one thing to point out here, again, lovely group of guys, just really friendly tournament vibe the entire time. They had an under-18s team there as well.
They had their youth setup. Speaking to the guys, they've got a youth setup, which is great. And I think it's Louise who's sitting next to me doing her knitting. She was knitting some dice bags as well for the guys, which is fantastic. And we dished out some New Dice Please merch, which is lovely. And at that point, they were actually saying they wanted the wooden spoon because of all the merch we were sponsoring as well, which is quite funny. The fact that came to fruition 2 matches later was just beautiful, and they all enjoyed it. And I think it set a good standard, and that was, they had a great reception and great support from everybody as well. So well done, lads. Keep it up.
It absolutely did. It was great to see a younger. I feel like an old man here. The younger generation coming through. It was really nice vibe, and it sums up the tournament well. That it was just friendly enough to just have an under-18 team there and just having fun. But my round 4, I was up against Super Tom. So hello, Tom, if you are listening, and Corn. This was a frustrating draw for me. It was a very good match. It was a very good, well-fought match. It was swingy. It was all over the place. It was infuriating. I got a charge. I'm always going to be calling it a blitz. On turn 1 and killed a Bloodseeker straight off the bat. Which was one of my only 2 cash the entire game. So it was a fantastic start, but he stretched a little bit, but managed to get 2 dice on my gutter runner early on and had me, let's say, sweating buckets a little bit. I was also feeling a little bit worse for wear. Thank you for the whiskey, Scott. Anyway, and then seeing my gutter runner get consistently punched. But we managed to work it round enough to be able to score it in. And it was my second Knuffles tripwire of the tournament. 1 into 1 on the rush to score, which was just it was really frustrating, and also left my gutter runner in place to be fouled on multiple times. Again, sweating. Somehow he survived. Tom then gets it in for an early score, and I managed to pull it back to 1-1 at the end. A lot of fun. I think my dice in that game failed me in some occasions, but also the number of chances he had on my gutter runner kind of failed him as well. So in even measure, you look at it and go, yeah, fair enough. They both didn't play us right at the right times. So overall, that was a loss for us, I believe. 2 draws and 2 losses, which took us into round 5 against the Thanet Wargaming Club.
I think by this time we'd had a few coffees. We were on fire. This is where it all mattered as well, and we were starting to believe as well. So, Mr. Hovell, you were against wasn't this Bretonians?
It was for Bretonians, yeah.
Indeed. And how did you find Bretonians, Tom?
So this was interesting. So this was when I finally scored a touchdown. So this is the first game I'd scored an actual touchdown. In fact, I scored 2. And fortunately, unfortunately, it was one of those games where the first half, my opponent, Token Noob's dice were diabolical. He was failing just dodges. He was failing just simple rolls that you would think, oh, it'd just be fine. Which kind of gave me the advantage. The fact also that the realization that I had sprint on a werewolf became very apparent to my opponent, that they didn't realize that a werewolf could move that quickly. So that was a beautiful thing to see, that I managed. He positioned all his team very forward with no people in the rear guard, so to speak, to try and defend against it. So I could almost do some elf bullshit and just push a hole through the line and then peg it through with a werewolf. Unfortunately, this all came to a sudden stop when his dice actually started to warm up. And things started to turn out quite badly for me. I started to lose players left, right, and centre on that side of things. So it ended a 2-2 draw. In fact, I was 2-1 down at one point, and luckily managed to scrape a draw from the jaws of defeat in the penultimate turn. So yeah, it was, for me, that was one of probably the biggest roller coaster rides of the actual event.
Chris, I know, was playing against Snotlings, 2 pump wagons and 2 trolls as well. Chris won the casualty battle 4-2, but the Snotlings did their filth when they can just out of nowhere turn the table around as well. Unfortunately, he came out second best on the end of a 2-1, but he did laugh later, and he said he was the man who gave those Snotlings their 1 win of the tournament as well. So helping the wider community as well. So it had been just a difficult run for the Ducks up until that point as well. Feeksy, do you want to tell us about Underworld then coming up against Rats, wasn't it? Because it was Rats on Rat Light.
It was Rats on Rat Light. This game was fun. This game was swingy. 4-2 win for me overall, but losing 6-3 on cash. It was just swingy as hell, as you'd expect from these two teams. The first few turns, my opponent Vorbeck was just removing things all over the place, and I was going, oh, it's one of these. I was down multiple rats, down my rat ogre at one point, who I'd appoed to get back in the game, and then I was just starting to hemorrhage players a little bit. He scores. I managed to pull it back round again for 1-1. Then the biggest bullshit play of the weekend goes to one of my Snotlings. My blitzer had managed to get round and double power his gutter runners to release the ball. He had then got himself KO'd in return, but fair enough. He'd managed to remove a gutter runner, which was fantastic work. Little Snotling dodging underneath the nose of a rat ogre. So 3 up dodge, 5 up pickup because the tackle zones, 2 double rush, survived a blitz stab off a gutter runner to dodge in and score. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was insanity. And it was ridiculous, but then followed up as well by my gutter runner returning the favor with a blitz stab on his roger on turn 8 to cash him 10 into 10. It was swingy as anything. Then followed up by a punch and catch off with one of my line rats to recover the ball again. A gutter runner leaping over some downed players to run it in. The dice had really swung away from my opponent back to myself, but that game was a lot of fun. But I think that was our other win of the weekend.
Can I talk my mind?
Oh no, you're not allowed to talk about yours.
Oh, yeah. So you were playing Underworld. I played against Underworld. This was against Andy de Gobo, and it was just mental, absolutely fun. I mean, we had to complain because you and your opponent were having too much fun there as well, and rat on rat light. But it went mad for us. So I got I lost the roll, was kicking to him. I did a bit of a cheeky one, so I got perfect D. I put alignment against his Roger. So what it means is your Roger can't blitz unless you're going to dodge out. And if you block with the Roger, we've all done this, you go for the block and you get at least, double skull or double both down. And you can't go anywhere. Yeah. So obviously, Juggernaut, you only had Juggernaut on the Roger, so blitz, no good. And he did roll the skull and the both down. So then I rolled the injury and he got KO. No, he got off and then the APOC brought him back. So we were talking about justice for the Roger one. And then he was very rude and he decided to gang foul and kill one of my war dancers with strip ball, which is a bit so again I scored, then I scored again, then he scored, and then I scored, and it was, as I say, 3-2 in casualties for the Gobbo. Could have gone anyway. It was absolutely mad. 3-1 for the win in the end, and it was just one of those fun, silly, such an entertaining, great couple of hours in Andy's company. So Andy, if you're listening, thank you very much, and a big shout out to you and all the gang at Thanet as well.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think the thing is, you're saying it's rude to foul a war dancer. If they've been stupid enough to fall over, Scott.
Well, they weren't really. They weren't. The fact that he put three, I think it was two or three goblins to try and blitz him. And the one thing I did find against all these teams this weekend, the amount of times I play against Woodies or I play against like Blodge pieces, and you can't roll a POW for love nor money. You can roll plenty of both downs. You can roll plenty of stumble, and they'll go, oh no, sorry. And every time someone was two dice in, I was thinking, oh, okay, you're gonna get a push or a push, stumble or no, POW, double POW, and it was relentless. It felt really, so yeah. But hey, that's Woodies for you. You can still have just the one war dancer or no war dancers, and you can still pull it out the bag. So so again, second team win of the tournament. I think we talked about this. Is like when we started, we'd said about if we can win at least one match, great. So I think when we got that second win in the bag, it felt like absolutely, we're doing very well indeed. So yeah, on to round 6, the final round.
Yes, we were up against DBL Journeymen, which was, again, I mean, the thing is, all of the teams we faced were a lot of fun. I think this was a tricky one. These were some good coaches that had come. They
were very good. The DBL guys were very good indeed. And Chris and the Ducks, they stood fast. They carried us for this match as well. 2-1 win. He did very, very well indeed. Getting the 2-1 win, getting the 2-0. So he set the tone for that as well in terms of doing that. And then Tom, you were against Nurgle again. So 2-1, which is really close. But was it the casualties that cost you in that match?
Yeah, so I was against Jose, and he has to go. I have to say, he gets my award for the best painted team. He had converted them. He'd made them beautifully disgusting, as Nurgle should be. They were beautiful. They're really, really good. And even to the point that he'd even made a little top hat so that when the Rotspawn failed, he had to wear his little hat. To say that he's failed his the distracted or whatever. So this was a very quick game. Again, I think the surprise of a sprint werewolf came into its fore as well. So just trying to thread the needle, so to speak. But those the bloaters are absolutely disgusting with all those rules, all those skills on them, especially when all of them have got block as well. So they all had block. His Pestigores had 1 block and 1 wrestle, and the Rotspawn had guard. So it was a filthy, filthy team, but very well done.
Absolutely. They are a really, really tricky matchup at the moment.
And you were playing Ewan, who was just seemed to be removing your players for fun, really, Feasty, on OW. I think you were the only one who played OWA all weekend out of us.
I was. We were looking at it beforehand. There was a lot of, I think at 16 or 17 out of 30 teams had an OWA team in there. And I was the only one that faced them. And needless to say, it was tough. It was really tough. Ewan was an absolute gent throughout. Absolute gent. I believe he plays in the same league as former guest Mr. David Drysdale and did in DBL. Lovely guy, really lovely guy. I just couldn't do anything. It was one of those matches where I just went, you know what? It's just not happening. He was removing my players all over the place. The amount of guard and block and tackle, it was just an Underworld team's worst nightmare, I believe. And a few critical turnovers as well, just kind of killed it. In the end, I was just like, you know what? I'm dodging players away and I'm checking out of this half because I can't risk any more players. Despite me having a 16 player roster, I was like, I actually can't risk any more players, chucking it at this point. My gutter runner, despite having a coach, did not want to come back from a KO. Despite having a keg, did not want to come back to have a chance at the one turn. And I just didn't have enough players to try and pull it off. I risked the early score. Did manage to get a couple of removals and just thought, I either score now or he punches through me and I don't score at all. And then after a bit, I just chucked everything at him, and it didn't work. My final cage diving gutter runner play of the day, cage dive stab. First dodge was a snake, and that just summed up the game. It was like, yeah, fair enough. But Ewan was an absolute gent throughout. It's an absolute pleasure to play him.
Cool. I finished the group with that one, playing his Lawrence and Laura, of course, and his Shambling, who were very, very rude. Yeah, I kicked to him to start with. He played very, very well indeed, and I think, after the first, he scored. And then it started on the kickoff event. It was changing. No, it wasn't. It was raining from the start. That's right. That was the thing. So we had rain to start with, which really didn't help. It was just, he managed to pick up the ball. I did strip the ball a couple of times, but I couldn't get the bounce, couldn't get it, and I couldn't get enough players in the mix. And especially when I'd lost a couple of players, 3-1 down on casualties, it was starting to be a numbers game. So Lawrence scored on his turn 8. I went for my one turn setup for it. And with hindsight, I should have just gone for it then and tried to score it then. But we had time out, so we had one more turn. And I thought, just set up a nice cage and then you could have gone for it in terms of get the ball. And then, I went for it. But to try and score, I had to do from memory. It was a 3-up, 3-up, 3-up dodge with reroll and with one spare reroll left, and it was a 2-up dodge and a 2-up rush. And Stu was being very entertained by it all as a fellow Woody coach. I think I got the first 3-up, the second 3-up, then I failed the third 3-up with dodge roll, then got it, and then I failed the 2-up. No, I got the 2-up, then I failed the rush, and then failed another rush, and that was it. So when in 1-0 down, I tried to score as quick as I could. So I think I scored in my turn 2. Kicked, the ball scattered near the line of scrummage on the wrong side from him, and therefore I managed to pressure it. I managed to do a war dancer leap. 1 dice, you like this, Feeksy. My strip baller was off the pitch again by then, KO'd. My tackle guy leapt in with a 1 dice on the side, hit his ghoul runner, of course, who has dodge, and I got a stumble with a tackle. So it's like, bye-bye, off you go. So the ball went, managed to pick it up, went down the pitch. I think he almost sacked me once. I managed to score, and I thought, I have to score. There's no way I can't. I had to defend 3 turns with a numbers down. Lawrence came down, and it went right to the last play of the last game, and he came down. I thought I'd got him, and I was doing no re-rolls, but lots of rushes to try and get players into place. He had to dodge a ghoul runner out of that tackle, war dancer tackle, so he had no re-rolls either. He had to dodge out, which he did on a 3-up, move it round, dodge again, give it to a skeleton, I think it was, on a 4-up, and he rolled a 5, bless him. And he did a couple of rushes to score. And it was just one of those matches where I was pleased that he scored as well, because it 2-all felt like the proper result for all of that as well. We both missed a couple of things. Like I'd forgotten to roll the +1. Also, when I went to pick up the ball, we hadn't considered the weather, and it should have been a 3-up pickup, and I'd rolled a 4 anyway. And there was things like we had the coach assist on the kickoff event, and I forgot to do that assist as well. But generally, it was all very good and a very lot of fun game as well. And the fact that you had you and a couple of others watching as well, and it was just, they enjoyed it as well. So that was a great last match.
Absolutely. So as a team, we've finished 2-0-4 for the weekend on a 33% record. Given the opposition that we faced, I think we'd take that. It was a lot of fun. But Scott did come away with some silverware.
Yeah.
Missed a touchdown over here.
Highest touchdown.
I got 14 touchdowns, so I did get the most touchdowns, which was very nice. But we actually came third in terms of team most touchdowns.
Oh, did we?
So we came third between Hactics and Globetrix, who are very, very good indeed. And obviously between the SBL Ultras, who are phenomenal as well. So we scored more touchdowns than most of the people. So we were touchdown difference of 0. So we scored 33 and we conceded 33. But hey, it was very good.
I like to do my bit. I like to do my bit. Thank you.
Casualties, we didn't do so bad, but just a shout out as well. I believe I came of all of how many coaches were there? There were 120 coaches. And I believe, I came 28th, a few places behind Mr. John Reeder of the Carrot Crunch All-Stars, who came 25th. We both had 3-2-1 records. On another day, I could have easily won another couple more or lost a couple more, but it was just such a very entertaining laugh as well. So, it did, very, very pleasantly, exceptionally surprised, very pleased about that as well. So, nice bit of confidence getting back into the league now for Woodies. And as a first team tournament, I got to say it was a fantastic weekend with yourselves, gents, with Chris, with the Carrot Crunch All Stars as well. And definitely, it's what Thullian had said before. It's what Stu had said before. It was just a great weekend with everybody there as well. Really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So obviously we've talked quite a lot about our games there. Final thoughts. One question to each of us. Would you recommend KTC, and do we go back again next year?
Yes and yes.
Yeah. Yes. And just some other things. It was wonderful. And it was really heartwarming, the fact that the amount of people who said, oh, yeah, we listened to the podcast and we really enjoy it. And, And when we're explaining about what we do here at New Dice Please, in terms of we're all about the community and enjoying that game, none of us, unless any of us are pulling the biggest bluff ever, none of us are going to be world championship meta chasing people. We're here for the entertainment and the good times. We're here to enjoy these occasions as well. And the organisation was great, and we will definitely be there next year, and we will be looking to take more. Maybe we can try and get a New Dice Please second team as well.
Yeah, you never know. We would try and rope a few more people in. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Would thoroughly recommend it if you get a chance to go to KTC. Stu Backer and the other organisers, they put on a great show. It is just a lot of fun and a fantastic friendly atmosphere there. So
and is that Stu did confirm it is that weekend of the 22nd of February next year. So everybody, you have been warned.
Exactly. Put it in your diaries. Well, thank you very much for going through all of those and listening to us rant. Not rant, rant. Why am I saying rant? It's been a joyful weekend. Not rant at all. Ramble is the word I'm looking for. My brain's starting to go. I'm too tired. Ramble on about our glorious weekend. 1 point.
Sorry,
for...
Tom. How was your chauffeur? How's your transport? Was it good?
Mine was it's exceptional. Yeah. I went first class on the way home. So the man with the shortest legs got shotgun the whole way there.
But you got shotgun, and I had to drive back all by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Hovell has standards, Mr. Feeks. That's what he expects. Like,
I'll just live in the Midlands and all by myself. All good.
Sorry, and just to confirm that David Rue, the Prince of Ipswich, because he did admit this as well from the Carrot Crunch All Stars. He was saying how throughout the weekend he was getting a tingle in his willy. So we just have to remember that. They were his words in the car. They were his words in the car. We dropped him off. We dropped him off. So we just dropped just dropped John Reader off in Ipswich, and Day proceeded to share with myself and Chris Coe that he'd been having a tingle in his willy. Now I don't know if that's he'd been sitting in the back with John Reader, but hey,
maybe he needs to see a doctor.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He was smiling all the way home. Well, that's all I'll say.
This feels weird bringing it up now. But we're going to move on before we continue talking about Dave Rue's genitals.
Why not?
On the topic of a fun day's worth of Blood Bowl. Are you free on the 14th of November? Obviously, I've asked you two this question, but this is one for our viewers. If anyone is free on the 14th of November this year and fancies a day of fun-filled charity Blood Bowl, we are going to be hosting the first New Dice Please charity tournament in aid of Movember. This is going to be taking place at Sanctuary Gaming Centre in Sutton and Ashfield, which is where I play in the Noble League. It's a wonderful, wonderful venue there's parking on site, limited parking, but there is parking on site. There is food on site. It's going to be a great day. There's a lot of stuff coming from suppliers, and for bits of swag, there's going to be a lot of fun with loads of prizes going around and a good raffle table as well. I know there's a few people that are going to be donating stuff, so check it out. I will stick the NAF pages below, but all abilities are welcome. Everyone is welcome. Go and check it out.
Are there going to be prizes for the best facial hair, real or unreal, or hats or anything like that, Feeksy? I think it should be in Movember.
I think they probably will be. I haven't decided exactly what they're going to be yet. But there's going to be there's a couple of fun themes. I will stick the NAF rules pack below. Make sure you check it out, and if you have any questions, contact us or contact myself directly with my details on there. And on the subject of tournament, Pete Reeves, if you are listening, we have not forgotten about your email and your tournament request. Yes, we will be reviewing it. Make sure you check out the Ledbury Training Ground tournament, which is happening 4th of April this year. Remember, check that out. And the NAF will be doing a separate piece on that later on. So do not worry, we haven't forgotten. Apologies, we're just a little bit behind on the schedule. So if anyone has any thoughts or feelings about KTC, if you were there and you wanted to make any points, if you're curious about where it is and any more information about it, Mr. Scott Bryant, where can people get in contact with us?
If you want to let us know any queries, obviously we don't officially represent the Canterbury Tourist Board, but we'll give it a go. So drop us a note, newdiceplease@gmail.com, and Mr. Tom Hovell for people's latest Aardvarks and Dragons Blood Bowl Leave. Oh, Feeks, you've infected me now.
It's getting too late. We're doing this too late. We're losing.
For all of your Aardvarks and Dragons Blood Bowl Live. Hot action and tingles in willies for Dave. Where can people go?
We do not condone that on YouTube, but we can actually see actual games being played on Blood Bowl Live on YouTube. You can also, I believe, see some of the games that were streamed on the day in Kent as well there. So we actually streamed at the top table. So there are some games from that that tournament.
Go and watch proper Blood Bowl coaching.
Yeah, go and watch some real people play. But also you can catch us on the socials under New Dice Please on Instagram and Blue Sky. And Tom, so please tell us Chris's favourite part of the day. What is the word of the day?
Whilst Tom does look for his word of the day, obviously preparation is key, children. If you do want to watch more of Feeks's Wood, you can go to YouTube and watch the Wood Elves play in the ADBBR in the last couple of matches as well, taking on Bretonians and then Underworld. I think there's an issue with the Underworld sound when we set that up, so I don't know, but it looks pretty.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it anyway. And thank you very much for giving me that breathing space, Scott. The word of the day is hump and scrump.
That's nice. What does that mean, Tom?
So it's a musical instrument of a rude construction. It was originally another name for the hurdy-gurdy, as were hump-drum, celestinet, and wind brooch.
Lovely.
Yes.
Who said you don't learn anything on this?
What are we if not educational? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Scott Bryant. Thank you very much, Mr. Tom Hovell. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening/watching. We have been New Dice Please, and we will see you next week.